Hello and welcome to my channel. I am PandaPops and I like to bring you blockchain, gaming and crypto related content. For today's video, we're going to be having a little look at Realms of Alurya, previously known as Synergy Land. I thought I was going crazy when I saw the name change, and luckily they did say yes, we changed it. So they used to be called Synergy Lands, now they're called Realms of Alura. And we're just going to have like a quick look. I'm going to talk about the things that you can do, some of the events that they've run, and just kind of like a first look in a sense. I have played it, I have streamed it, so if you've caught those streams, amazing. Sometimes restream to YouTube, but most of my live streams are over on Twitch, and you can find my Twitch down in the description. If you like blockchain gaming and crypto related content, don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button, because why the frig not? Honestly, at this point, why not? Let's jump on in. So Realms of Alura is an action-packed RPG game. They recently released their dungeons, so before they did have a playtest with their dungeons, and they have recently released the dungeons here now. Previously, you could just kind of build and do some quests on your land, and now obviously they're dungeons, and they do run events as well. You can uncover powerful loot, you can do farming, crafting, and so on. The usual of what you expect from an RPG game. This game does utilize blockchain technology. You can find this game either download from their website, or you can go to the Epic Store and download straight from the Epic Store. And it is completely free to play. The game itself, once you set up your account, you'll be able to have a free island, and you can start playing and building just from that. So there's no cost to play this game. There's absolutely zero cost involved. You can start playing for free. Now, I will say that with this game, it does feel a little hard to grind, like getting your crafter level up and everything. Getting to level 2 didn't seem too hard, but definitely getting from 2 to 3 seemed incredibly hard. And whether that's because they like don't intend to do a high amount of levels, so they really want it to feel like you're working to get there, then absolutely fine. And also, I feel like I probably did do it fairly quickly, in some ways, because I did purchase some things to help me on my way, but you could 100% play this completely for free, and you should be able to advance fairly nicely without having to purchase anything. Now, on the side of the blockchain side, there are NFTs in this game. So there are islands, and your islands are NFTs, and you can go and purchase these over on the Treasure Network, and I will link it down below just in case you do want to have a look, so definitely check out that description. And so with these islands, they give you additional perks. So there's the Settler Islands, the Rancher Island, and the Landlord Island. Now I'm going to show you the comparison chart for both of these islands. So what stations are here? So minting stations. So on the free one, there's no minting station, but on the Settler, Rancher, and Landlord, there are minting stations. Breeding stations, yes, for Settler, Rancher, and Landlord. No breeding stations for the free account. Housing stations, so there is an 8x8 for the free one, and then Settler 12x12, Rancher 14x14, and Landlord 16x16. Boss stations, so no boss stations on the free version, but up to, and it says up to purple, so I'm guessing up to epic is what I'm associating this to. Rancher up to legendary, maybe. This is just what the colors I associate with them. And then Landlord up to mystic, potentially. But let's just say up to purple, up to orange, and up to red. So the boosters. So there's no boosters on the free one. On the Settler, for pet rarity, 10%, labor cost, 10%, farming growth, 10%, crafting reduction, 5%, mining expedition time, 10%, trade pack profit, 10%. Rancher, 35. You can see the chart here, so cross-reference it with the chart. So there's some boosters there. So your crops will be able to grow a little bit faster. The crafting time is a little bit less. Your the trade packs that you do is a little bit more profit, so you earn a little bit more in-game currency. And then exclusive NFT pets as well. And yes, there are pets, so that's another NFT. So pets in Realms of Aluyra. You can find an egg by going into the dungeon, and you can find it as loot. And with that egg, you look after it, you heat it up, you wash it, you do all the caring stuff for the egg that you need to do. However, to age it up to the baby, you need a seed of evolution. This can be dropped on the NFT Isles. So if you're looking for a seed of evolution, crops can drop them on the NFT Isles, but it is very, very rare. I believe they can also be found as loot. Otherwise, you can purchase them from the store. You will need 2 seeds of evolution to take a pet from egg to adult age, and those pets can help you on your dungeon runs. So there's different types of pets with different abilities, so obviously look into those depending on your game type. The other things that are NFTs in the game are energy cores. So you can get energy cores, you can purchase them, and you need the energy cores to go into the dungeons. Everybody has 4 energy cores. No matter your isle type, it still takes 6 hours to replenish 1 energy core. You can find energy cores as really epic loot drops in the dungeon from monsters. This is very, very rare. Or if the big boss guy, the Gromar, appears, he will always drop at least 1 energy core. On the odd occasion, he may drop 2. And then you can use these energy cores, like burn them and give yourself another energy so you can do more dungeon runs. So in this game, as we can see here, there's a few things you can do. So my character here is doing a lot of the farming. So we're collecting a bunch of crops. There's different crop types. These get made into food, or you can place them into like trade packs and you can send them off to earn extra money. They may be needed for crafting, so we can plant a bunch of trees and we might need the wood to go to the wood crafting station to make an item to go towards making some better swords. All of the crafting stations themselves will need different things to, one, build them, but also they'll create different items. So over on our blacksmith, we can get a bunch of swords, but we might realize that we need something from the blacksmith, go over to the wood craftsman, and vice versa. The other thing is they can all be leveled up, so you don't have all of the items as soon as you make them. You have to make so many of an item and get like XP for that station to then have it level up, and then you can make some better stuff from there. So with the dungeons, as mentioned, energy cores to be able to enter. From there, you can choose, if it's your first run, you're going to start in dungeon level 1. You're going to want to find an elevator down. Once you see an elevator, you can go down to level 2. This has harder monsters, different resources, and it gets progressively harder. Currently, at the time of making this video, there are only 10 dungeons open. And the way it works is, so far, from what I've seen, is Dungeon 1 will be the first one, Dungeon 2, and that will appear. So if you go in again, it will say like, hey, do you want to enter Dungeon 2? And then it goes up in 2s. So you need to work your way through, if you're at 2, you need to work your way through 3 and get down to Dungeon 4 to be able to show up Dungeon 4 on your list. As you go further down, there's going to be a variety of different resources. So depending on what you're wanting to craft, you may want to think about which dungeon you're going into. You may also be wondering, what's the earning potential here? Now, Realms of Alurya is still really in their early days, and they have run some events, and they will be running like mint events. So you will do dungeon crawls, you'll be able to find loot, and you'll be able to mint the items that you obviously find, you'd be able to mint them and sell them. The other thing is, obviously, if you find eggs and stuff like that, they can be moved from your game account out to your main account, so you could sell those on the treasure marketplace. So Realms of Alurya does use the treasure marketplace. My opinion on that is we can do a whole video on that. It's once you know how to get your money over on Treasure, and depending on where you are, it could be easier to get your money over there, to get funding on that account. For me, I had to go through a variety of different routes to get money over there, which can be kind of frustrating. But overall, you know, being able to buy an item and get it into the game is fairly simple and straightforward, and we can make another video if you so wish. Leave a comment down below. Now, let me know, is Realms of Aluyra one of those games that really excites you? For me, it always, with blockchain gaming, I'm always looking for game first, earning second, and this seems to really incorporate that. This is a really fun game, but even though I currently haven't earned money from playing it, there have been like energy cores that I found and stuff that I could probably, you know, move out of my game account and resell them. I don't want to. I want to use those energy cores to level my player up. I want to level the character up. I want to have better weapons, so I need to do more dungeon runs to get those resources and level up. So for me, Realms of Aluyra is definitely game first, and then earnings second. And I think that is the way that we can make crypto games sort of a little bit more mainstream. It has to always be game first, and this is what I'm seeing so far from Realms of Aluyra. They recently just finished an event that they did, which was a grommet killing event. Now, the grommet has a percentage of spawning. So you could, unfortunately, because it's RNG, you could do 7 dungeon runs in a row and he may not appear. Or you could have him appear in 3 dungeon runs back to back. So it is a little bit RNG based, but they did have a grommet kill, like whoever could kill the most, and it was for the top 25. And I did just manage to get within the top 25. Like on the last day, I got very lucky. I did 4 runs, and 2 of them had him in them. So I got very fortunate that the RNG was on my side that day. And my prize was an energy core. Now I spent quite a few energy cores to get to him. I personally didn't buy any energy cores. I didn't put money into them. I did contemplate it at one point, but because it is largely RNG based, I could have ended up spending $15 and still have not had like that much additional luck to get the higher prizes. I would personally like to see in their future events, maybe it being a top 50, because I did see even when I had like 2 grommet kills, I was in 300th place. And so that makes me think that there's obviously a lot more players below me, and I would say that that would qualify for there to be like a top 50 at least, especially if like the lower prizes are energy cores, which you get for killing the grommets anyway. So I would like to see that be extended. I am excited to see what other events that they run. Synergy Games also streams, I think at least once a week, which I absolutely love for a company to make sure that they're streaming and giving those regular updates. So definitely do go check them out. I will link their Twitch channel down below, and as well as their Discord. They do have like an overview of everything that they've got right now. So they've got NFTs, they've got an overview, they've got synergians, like they've got a whole thing here that breaks down each part of what Realms of Aluyra is and kind of where they're wanting to go with it. They also intend to have multiple lands. So right now, there's the Fura, and then in the future, I guess they're going to extend over into these different worlds. So Snowgrave, Tsunami, I'm probably butchering these. Onyx Land. This looks really cool. They've got a very good roadmap out at the minute, and they seem super engaged with their community, which I think is a really positive thing. So far, I'm enjoying it. Obviously, it is a lot of crafting, and maybe like these sort of grinding style games aren't your style. For me, they are. I definitely enjoy hopping in and dungeon crawls. So far with the dungeon crawls, if you die, there's no loss. So you don't lose what you are carrying. There's none of that loss. I would potentially like to see maybe there is some form of loss, like 20% loss of whatever you're carrying randomly gets taken out if you die in a dungeon, but that's potentially a little bit further down the line. I do feel like a lot of the times that with these types of games, the ceiling always needs to be raised, because if there's no loss or degrading of items, then you're always just going to be like, oh, I've got the best weapons, and then you're like, okay, we've got to make this game a little bit harder for some of the OGs or the people that have already grinded, and then they'll sort of like teeter off because they've completed it. Basically, they've got the top of everything. Why else are they there? So what I would love to see is some sort of degrading system for weapons or the clothes, to the extent where it's like they need to be fixed. You're like, you've got these swords, the swords do a max amount of 60 damage, and then over use, so if you keep using these swords, that they will then reduce down to a low point of, let's say they max is 60 and they can degrade down to only doing like 45 damage. So you need to decide whether you need to use resources to fix those, or maybe you want to upgrade to the next item instead. So that's what I'd like to see, which is a way that you can still make use of those lower resources and sort of keep that economy going. Because, you know, generally in real life, items will, you know, break down and degrade, and you need to either fix those items or you need to purchase a new item to replace the broken item. So that's what I'd like to see potentially come in the future. Let me know down in the comments if you've played Realms of Aluyra. How are you enjoying it? What are you excited for? What have you enjoyed so far? If you haven't played it, then please do go check it out. I actually, because it is a free-to-play game, and most of the stuff that I suggest to you guys will always be free-to-play, or at the very least low barrier entry. So usually anything will cost you less than $15 to get started. So that's generally what I like to show you guys. If you do have suggestions of other games you would like me to check out or talk about, definitely feel free, leave a comment. Look forward to reading your comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click that notification bell so you can be notified when I upload brand new videos. Check out some of these other videos. You may enjoy them, you may not, but check them out anyway. And as always, have a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the metaverse. I will see you soon.